Smell it, it smells divine. What's up guys, it's your girl Bnharmony. Today's video will be about me making my keto bread recipe as you guys have requested so many times on my Facebook, on my Instagram, all that. You guys have been requesting my recipe, and so I am here to deliver. Each one is about 170 calories with only 2 net carbs. 2 net carbs, girl, 2 net carbs.
Oh my God! Wow!
Like, who can beat that? You can't beat that with a stick. Put burgers back on the menu, sandwiches back on the menu, and toast for breakfast. This is what I do. I even use this for snacks. So this is very, very keto friendly, very low carb friendly if you want to try it. So without further ado, let's get to baking. All right guys, so this is everything that we're going to need for our keto bread. Right now I have the tools ready. I have my KitchenAid Artisan mixer. This is one of the best mixers out there. If you don't have one, it is okay. You can definitely use a traditional mixer with a paddle. You will need a pan to put your bread on with parchment paper, a food scale. I use this because I like to keep my bread around the same size, and I'm trying to get between 5 to 6 servings. For the ingredients, you're going to need 1 1/4 cup of almond flour, 3 egg whites, 1 teaspoon of instant yeast, 5 tablespoons of psyllium husk, and then 1 tablespoon of nutritional yeast. You're gonna need 1 teaspoon of salt, or however much salt you choose to put in your bread, 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar, and then make sure that you have your boiling water. Make sure it is boiling because this is what actually activates the yeast, so that way your bread rises efficiently. Now once you have all of your ingredients together, it is fairly quick to go by. It takes probably 10 minutes to put all this stuff together after this point, and then you just go into baking. So let's go ahead and start with our dry ingredients first. We're gonna put in our almond flour. I like to stir it a little bit just to break it up. Once the almond flour has been good and broken up, I'll go ahead and put the rest of my dry ingredients. The only dry ingredient that you don't want to put in right now is your instant yeast. This should be the last ingredient into your bread. It activates very fast. So I'm going to add the psyllium husk. That's your 5 tablespoons. I'm going to add the 1 tablespoon of nutritional yeast. And then I'm going to add my teaspoon of salt. You have put in all your dry ingredients into the bowl except your instant yeast. You want to go ahead and mix those together. Now that everything is mixed great, everything has blended nicely, my first wet ingredient I'm going to start off with is my egg. Make sure that it is on slow. Go ahead and put the rest of your egg in there. It should look very crumbly at this point. All right, so that was all on medium speed the entire time, and so this is what it should look like. It should look very clumpy right now and very stiff. Once you put your apple cider vinegar and water, it's going to get a little bit more doughier. So let's go ahead and do that. We have our apple cider vinegar here, and all we're going to need is 2 teaspoons of that. And 2 teaspoons there. I'm going to go ahead and put my 1 cup of boiling water into my measuring cup and pour gradually. A little bit at a time. Have the mixer speed on stir, where it's not going too fast, just until all the ingredients have been incorporated. I'm going to speed this up just a little bit. So after the boiling water has been mixed, I'm going to go ahead and put in my instant yeast. It is going to look wet. It is supposed to. Don't be afraid of that, but then I'll show you what it looks like at the end. All right, so this has been mixing for a good 3 minutes now, and so I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what the texture should look like. It is very wet, but how you know that it is ready is that it should be easily to peel from the sides of your bowl. If it's still way too sticky, then it is not ready. Now, this is what your dough looks like. And as you can see, it kind of slides off the side pretty easily. And it's just like this. Now, it will clump together. I would just scrape the sides down. So this is what the dough looks like prior to you kneading it and getting it together, okay? Now, and do not mess with the dough like this. Your hands must be wet, otherwise it will stick to your hands. That is the key. Do not mess with this without water on your hands. And so you will find yourself going to the water about a few times, probably like between each bun. Go put water on your hands so that way it doesn't stick to your hands. So let's go ahead and do that. So now I'm ready to go ahead and make my buns. First you want to do is to kind of dry it out just a tad bit. You just want to sprinkle a little bit of almond flour in there just so way it's easier to grab. And as of now, I'm going to go ahead and wet my hands. Do not mess with this with dry hands. It will stick to your hands. Wet your hands. Now that my hands are wet, I'm going to go ahead and take this out. And see how easy that was to come up? And just knead it for just a little bit. Now, if your hands are dry, this will stick to your hands, but as you can see with my hands being wet, it does not stick as much. Now, your hands will get dry in between this, so you want to make sure you can put that down, wet your hands again, and then continue on kneading. Right, so that is finished. It looks like this. As you can see, it's very, very squishy. But it is perfect. What you want to do before you put bread on top of this is you want to wet this as well so it doesn't stick to it. The units I like to use are ounces. So I like to keep it between 3.3 to 3.5 ounces per ball that I put on there. And you see now, right now it is 0.0. So I'm going to just take a little bit of the ball. I think if you do not have a scale, this is roughly about the size a little bit bigger than a golf ball. And I'll put that ball there. It is 2.45, so I add just a little bit more. 2.7, 3.0. I think 315 will be fine. If I have a little bit more, then I can spread it a little bit amongst all of them. So, but 3.15 ounces is the goal that we're going for right now. So I'm just gonna put this here on my parchment paper on my pan, wet my hands again, and come back and make another ball. All right, as you see, is my last one is 3.20, and that's pretty much good. I'm not going to mess with that. I'm not really worried about that big difference, that little difference in size. And so right now that gave me 5 buns. This recipe is supposed to give you 6 buns, but because I like to use it for my burgers and I like my burgers a little bit big, it gave me 5. So I think you will be okay if you did about 2.75 to almost 3 ounces, you would get your 6 buns. And we're gonna go ahead and start to shape them. All right, now that we have our 5 buns, I'm going to go ahead and manipulate them and just shape them into like little buns, like so. You flatten them out, make it as big as you want to. How big you do this is how big your bun will be. So you see that's about the size of my palm, but it's your discretion. I feel like if I don't flatten them out too much, then I will still have the good dome shape out of them, but if I flatten them too much, it will be pretty flat. So I do about a palm size. Now, as you can see, I have flattened out my 5 pieces of bread, and this is what they look like. Now, if you want to add an extra touch to it, which I always do, I get a little bit of my Italian seasoning or whatever seasoning you want to put on top for garnish. And so I just kind of sprinkle that on top like so. Now, if you want a little bit of extra saltiness, You can sprinkle a little bit of Himalayan salt on top of it, and that's what I'm gonna do right now. Just a bit, not a lot. And let that bake on top. Right now, your bread is ready to go into the oven, so let's go do that now. Alright guys, so this is what the keto bread came out to look like. That looks so freaking good, and I can smell it. It smells divine. It looks just like so yummy with the Italian seasoning on top and a little bit of salt. Now this is how it is. So what you would do is to make a sandwich bun is to cut in the middle of that. It is pretty hollow on the inside, and that's how you know that they're ready to go. So you cut in the middle of that, and you can use that for your sandwiches, for your burgers, for all the stuff that you need. This is absolutely amazing if you're on a keto diet or on a low carb lifestyle like I am. Alright guys, I want to thank you guys for watching my video. This has been highly requested, so I really appreciate you guys wanting to know what my keto bread looks like and how I make it, because I use this all the time, like all the time. Please do press that subscribe button and that notification bell. Like this video if you want to see more content like this. I have many recipes, including brownies and sweets and stuff like that, if you guys want to take a look at that. So let me know if you have any suggestions in the description box. By the way, most of the ingredients that I have used in this recipe will be in the description box for you to look up. Also, I promise to do a giveaway for every 1,000 subscribers that I make until we get to 10,000 subscribers, and we are now 2,000 subscribers. I'm so happy. So look into my pinned comment to see if you are a winner in this particular giveaway. I will be doing more giveaways. The more subscribers we get, the more giveaways I will do. So let's keep it up. Let's keep it going. And always remember that happiness is healthy and happiness is beauty.